Okay, so what we are going to do today, so last class we saw of creating a simple Java application, right? We saw how to build the Java application and we got the end product. So today we'll see the different advanced options, how we can set off the upstream and downstream, and what is the benefit and what is the usage of that, and how you will use that in your organization in your real-time work. Okay, after that we'll see how we can set off the master and slave architecture. So master or slave architecture I'll keep later, little later, that one. So before that I will finish the pipeline job. Okay, the automations one where we have to write the Jenkins file. So let me quickly log in to the server. Okay guys, do you have any other doubts guys, so that we can clear, see, Jyoti is doing practice, so he is getting all kind of doubts definitely. So I think most of you are not doing practices and all, because you're not getting any doubts or you're not getting anything, right? So let's discuss and make it interactive, right? So most of the parts I want actually you to understand in the classroom itself. So don't keep it to do again repeated videos and just to watch it and try to do that. That time you will not understand fully. So if you have any doubt or anything you feel like which will be important and you want to learn, you want to know more about that, okay, so you can tell me immediately so that I can explain it. Okay, so whatever I'm just telling is the real time what we do in the companies. So I'm starting from the scratch, starting from the beginning. Okay, from the scratch I'm showing you. So when we move into the advanced level, that time will be, at least I want you to be expertise, and nobody can understand like whether you are a like a new beginner or not. So by doing whatever you are doing, right, the practices, you can show your expertise level, your experience. You can easily say that I am experienced and I'm working on this all, right? So I have started my server. Let me share my screen. Okay, so the server is starting now. And remember, whenever you are joining any organization, if it is a big enterprise or big organizations, MNC, and everything will be already installed, and Jenkins will be already installed, and many people will be already working, and you will go there and join their team. Okay, then you will start working directly from creating projects and starting creating jobs and start building there. Okay, but if you join a startup company or a company where they are just migrating the stops all the things into DevOps, okay, so where they will expect from you to install for everything and set up for everything from the scratch. If you are joined in a migration stuff, and that time definitely it will be little tough for you, but you'll get a core and good strong experience on that areas, because whenever you start doing from the scratch you'll get more experience, a more real-time experience on that. Okay, but whatever I am also showing you exactly that you have to do it. If you do practice at your home, right, in your laptop, you'll be also similar kind of like work environment you can create. Okay, so just a second, the server has started now.
Hello, hello, sir.
Yeah, Jyoti.
Hello. Sir, can we automatic turn on the Jenkins server? Means when the server stop, then we start the Jenkins server actually off.
Yes, we can do that. I'll show you how to do that. Okay.
Means just like HTTP, we make a command like ch config on.
Exactly. So that you have to do that systemctl, or you can do the check config on. So what will happen? It will make your system on all the time, And another way also we can do, I'll show you that one also, don't worry. One second, I'll show you
Actually,
in the both
it's
ways.
not work. It's not working. Yesterday I tried, but
Okay, it
it's
did
not
not
work.
work, right? Okay, I'll show you in another way. Wait, it is sent over, right? Okay, so Jyoti, if you see here, in our case, right? So you said like it is not working. What we can do, you remember we had kept one thing in our profile.d file, right? Profile.d. Here we had created one script that's called Maven environment.s. So what you can do simply, you can just edit this file, and in the below, sorry, below or in the top, you can just put just one second. Here you can put systemctl start Jenkins. Okay, so what it will do, it will start the Jenkins during the boot time. Okay, it will start the server. If it is not working, then we'll see here, either you can put sudo, but sudo must is not required. Okay, we'll see, let the class finish, the time will restart the server, and we'll see whether it is starting or not. Okay, let me save this one. I saved it, because this profile.d will be executed during the booting time. So whatever there in this directory, this is a daemon directory. Okay, in this directory, whatever the scripts, these are all scripts, available. Okay, these scripts will be executed when the server will be booted. So whatever instructions was provided in this, it will be executed. So now if you see here, maven.sh, right? In this script, we have, if I do echo $java underscore home, it will give us the JRE11 OpenJDK. This is what we are getting it from the global environment variable export command we had used, and it was set up here, right? If you, I'll modify this, let me just modify this to Java home. I can just modify it to um, JDK Java 1.8 Open JDK. It's not Java. I can simply give 1.8 Open JDK. Okay, let's save it. Okay, now let's execute this. Even though if I do echo Java, it will still show 11. Okay, if I just exit out from the server, okay, now let me log in back. What happens here? Authenticating as root. $69. Oh, okay. So Jenkins, see, systemctl starter Jenkins could not able to start. So what happens? It is asking for the root. So what I have to do? Simply go to your cd etc profile.d. Let's edit and add sudo there. Okay. Instead of sitting here, I just add sudo.
Sudo भी
Yeah. Then, oh, sorry, it should be sudo. So I have to be edit it as a root user. Okay. Now let me exit out from the server and start connecting back again. Just wait for a few seconds, because it is starting the Jenkins server. Okay, it is starting the Jenkins server.
Ranjit, for profile.d, no need to reboot the server, no? Not needed.
It is not needed. It is not needed. Whenever you exit out
Not
from the
needed.
terminal and then log in back, it will
Hmm.
start. But we need our server
Uh,
to be start during the reboot, right? Even though you just put it, it will start the
hmm.
server. Okay. Now if I do system ctl status Jenkins, so it is now running. Okay, so what happens next time if you restart the server or you just stop, you just shut down it and started it, what will happen? Automatically, whenever you start the server, automatically the mentioned the steps, what are the instructions given inside the profile dot directory, everything will be executed. Okay, now we can see our Jenkins will be running. And if I do echo $java underscore home, will get to different version of JDK. Okay, got it? You can do different ways, guys. So once you're familiar, once you get hands on the things what you are doing, if you understand properly what you are doing, then you can easily do whatever things you want. Okay, first you need to understand thoroughly what you are going to do and how you can achieve it. There will be multiple ways. There will be multiple ways you can set up this. Okay, this is what the mindset, this is what the automations we are going to automate the stuff, right? Okay, fine. Now our Jenkins server is up. What I can do, use suppose, now just log into the server. Okay, so we had our both the jobs in our dashboard. We can see both the jobs, and here we can see the weather report has changed little. Here the weather report is no recent build failed, means all the builds for this job or for this project are success. And here you can see the weather report has little changed, and it says build stability 3 out of the last 5 builds failed. So out of 5, 3 builds failed, 40% success. Okay, you can see all this report changed. This is how, see, this is the updated and latest version of Jenkins. That's why this is the latest version, because I just downloaded the latest version of Jenkins and updated it. That's why you are seeing all this kind of new dashboard and new UI. But in your company they might be using the older version of Jenkins. Not see, companies they don't frequently upgrade and update the Jenkins, so you might be seeing a different kind of options here. Okay, different kind of like logo, different kind of icons you can see here. So previously when I was working there, you can see some blue color, some blue color circle will be there. If it is blue it is success, if it is red it is failed, if it is amber it will be a different status, if it is yellow it will be a different status. Okay, so but now they are giving tick, cross and other symbols they are providing it here. Okay, um, so this is how we have to do that. Now let's see what I'm going to tell you about the upstream and downstream. So this job, how we will modify this job and how we'll edit, just go to the configure here. Okay, and where, okay, can you tell me, this is a question anyone can tell me. So when I click build a project, what happens, how Jenkins works, what is the flow? Suppose I am just building a GitHub project. Okay, and all the project files are there in GitHub. So how the Jenkins build that file, how it works?
It goes to the configuration and it start reading one by one configuration detail.
Okay, this configuration.
Uh, yes, all this configuration from the first of all it will check the uh, git location whether the project is cloned or not, and then the script written for this, like how the build has to be executed, which environment has to be taken, and build a script, like whether it what type of build is required, like Maven or Gradle or which script is required. So if everything is there or not, then it will check, then it will start executing.
Okay, that's correct. So what happens based on the configurations we do set up, so it follows and go step by step. Okay, so first what it does, if it is a Git project, it will first check out. Okay, not clone, it will first clone on, you can say clone, or it will check out to your, where it will check out, it will check out to,
Workspace. So
exactly. So it will check out everything to the
Jenkins
workspace,
workspace.
Jenkins workspace. Okay. So Jenkins will create. So that is what Chandan you have to tell. So Jenkins will create a separate, create a workspace based on the project name, and there everything it will be checked out based on the repositories and Git setup we have done in the configurations file. Okay. So everything will be checked out
Okay.
there, and whatever files, if it is automated one Jenkins file we have written, everything it will be there in the workspace, and from there it will take and start building it. And how it will build, based on the build environment we have set up, based on the build environment we have set up, like this build options, whether you are using Maven, Gradle or Ant or whatever tool, MS build, based on that it will start building it, and based on the other configurations it will do the action. So this is how the Jenkins works. Okay, now, so this is, we completely understood how the Jenkins works. Now what we can do here, uh, also we saw one of the option is called poll SCM. Now you can easily understand what is the poll SCM. And see guys, I am telling you, whatever thing you are just using it, right, make sure you understand it fully. If you understand it fully, you can easily use that option, and you can know what is the usage of the option. You can easily put it, and you can also, in any of the organizations, if you are working in your project, or you can even help any other project members, any DevOps members. Okay, so guys, can you go mute if some not speaking? Okay, so what you can do here, poll SCM, we already know about the poll SCM. I also had told you, just go through this cron jobs, because you will not be familiar with this cron jobs and all, right? So go through this, go through all these cron jobs details and all. Okay, so you, what you'll see, you'll find how to set off all the options and all. So this will be helpful to you to set up the cron and set up the poll SCM. Okay, this is how you have to do it. Now everything will be there here. I don't want to go and spend time here. You have to just go through and start doing it now. So the poll SCM is done. Another one, there will be real time. You'll definitely get questions on that. How you can build another project, okay, on the success of failure of one project. How you can build another project, success of one, or success or failure of one project. There will be question come, see, there will be multiple ways they can ask questions. The thing is, the requirement is like this. We have, suppose, 3 builds or 2 builds we have. We want one build to complete, then it will execute another build automatically. You don't have to go and execute it. So how we can achieve that? So we have options called downstream and upstream. Upstream and downstream. So upstream job will be the one which will be first execute, and the downstream job which will be the second one will execute. Okay, suppose the, let me just set up that, and I want, suppose this my first Java project, my first Java app v5, I want this project to make upstream. Okay, so what I'll do, let me create another job, let me create another job which will be, which will make us downstream job. Okay, let's go ahead and create new item, like I can just give like downstream. downstream job. Okay, so freestyle. Okay, okay. So what happened here? I just create another job. What I want, what happened? Build after other projects are built. Build trigger. Okay, in the build trigger, what you have to choose? Build after other projects are built. Click on this. So the projects to watch. Give the project name. So the project was my first. So if you just type, it will give the available projects. It will give the available project details. So we have two projects available, right? I want to make sure that the job which I want to execute fast, I have to select this one. So I want this to be run fast, and then this build will start. Build after other projects are built. This option. So remember, build trigger. In the build trigger, we have this option. So now, got it? It should be there. Now, what happened? We have other options like trigger only if the build is stable, means success, working fine, then it will trigger. So sometimes what happens, you want the build, if the build is unstable or build is failed, then trigger this one. So let me just explain the scenario.
One doubt here actually.
Sorry.
So thing is that you are saying it's downstream job on the upstream job. Right?
Yeah.
So that means the job is that means the first job is dependent to another job. Right?
The second job is dependent
No
on
dependency.
the second. Yeah, there will be dependency. The second job is dependent on the first job. Like the downstream job is dependent on the upstream job. So now the
Upstream job. If the first job will get success, then only the
second job will
trigger
start.
and it will
Exactly. So it is not only the success, that it is also giving other options. If the first job is here, you can see inside this build after other projects, we have 4 options giving, like trigger only if the build is stable. Stable means success. Okay. If the build is success, like if this job, if the upstream job is success, then this will start building. If the other option is if trigger even if the build is unstable. Trigger even if the build is fails. If the build is fails, it will be executed. And next one is always trigger even the build is aborted. Okay, always trigger if aborted or fail, whatever, it will be always triggered. So now let's click on this.
I think the best option will be trigger only if build is stable.
No, it is actually that is what. So here what I told, based on your requirement you have to do. Suppose your requirement is, suppose you have two things. Your requirement is like you need for your application. It is the nature of application. It is based on completely the requirement. You cannot decide which one will be best. It will be based on the requirement, right? If your requirement is, if the job is failed, then I will execute this one, right? If the first build is failed, then I need to execute the second build to do another chance to build the second one. Okay, if the first one, sometimes what happens, you need only if the first one is success, then build the second one. It is completely based on your scenario. It is scenario based on your complete requirement. If your requirement is only failed. Okay, now let me give you real-time examples. Suppose you are working for a company which delivers reports to the client, okay, or think about this Jenkins only. Okay, so what you need, after the build is success, you want to deliver the application, the end product, to, suppose, to a repository, to a binary artifacts, okay, or to a staging server. If the build is success, the final end product will be generated and it will be delivered to the staging server or binary artifactory. If that is the success case, if it is failed, if it is failed, what you want another build with different option to be triggered, another build with different options to be triggered, and make sure that is also working fine. And another real-time case, if you want your report to be executed and it will be delivered to the client, right? If your report is generated, then only it will be delivered to the client. Then you have to set up like that. Okay. Sometimes what happens, you want, if your report generation job is failed, the upstream one, what you want to send a dummy report or send the previous report to the client. So what you can do, you can set up another job which will, on the failure of this, it will be executed. Okay, now what happened, I'll just create two options here. Okay, I'll create two options here. Let me show you how it works. So Kishore, you understood, right?
Yes, yes. Okay.
Okay, so let me just create two more jobs. Let me create two more jobs. I'll show you how it works. Okay, now the first one I just gave it as trigger only if the build is stable. Okay, now let's go ahead. What you want, this will be executed, and in the build section, let me simply, I don't want to build anything else. Let me simply execute some shell command. Okay, what will I write? I'll just echo this is just a demo to show you how you can do the setup upstream and downstream. So the build option is up to entirely you, what you want to build based on your requirement. If you want to add another job to build, then you can set up another job to be built here. Okay, I'll show you that also. Okay, now I'm just showing you just simple example, then I'll show you. Now let me leave for 10 seconds. Okay, let's save it. Let's save it. So I created downstream job. Let me modify this job name. So I'll create two jobs, right? Downstream job. I can just give. Okay, fine. So you cannot modify. You can have to delete, and you cannot modify the job here. Simply select it here. I think there should be a rename option. Yeah, just go to the rename option here. Job, suppose I want it is for success. This job will executed upon the success of the upstream job. Now what I can do here, let me go ahead and create one more job. I'll set up on the failure, right? Downstream job, make it as failure. Freestyle. Okay, so build trigger here. Okay, so here I am just going a different way. Suppose I'll set up a git project here, and I want to build another job. If it is failed, I'll build another job. So github.com, I need the URL of another project. Okay, so I had just forgot the password, I think. Authentication code. Okay, so I have set up two factor authentication also, so that's always good to secure your account, right? For GitHub I need the token. Good, so it is open now. Now what I want, let me go to my repositories. Suppose I want to build another job. um, I want another Java job. Okay, so suppose this DevOps class, and this DevOps class is a private one, and this is the best way to show you how it can be executed. Okay, now let me just copy this, clone this one, and this is a private one. Okay, this is a private one, and now I need the user ID and password to set off. Okay, copy this one, go for the downstream, paste it here. As it is private, it will fail to connect, and it will see fail to connect. For public one, it automatically connected. So it will be a best example for the demonstration of creating the credentials and setting up in Jenkins. Now I need to set up the credentials for this private. Okay, now we have to do, I don't have any credentials on this Jenkins server. What I can do, I click on add Jenkins and provide your username and password. Okay, username with password. So I can just put the username here. So username is Ranjit for GitHub, and the password 022. Okay, now add it. Okay, so what happens here, it does not support the password since August 13. So what I have to put instead of password, I have to put the token. I have to put the token here. Okay, now this is the one, so it is not working, so I have to put the token. Now how I'll edit this one? Now I added this one through here, but how I will edit this, I'll show you. Now just I saved it. Let's go back, go to your manage Jenkins. Here the credentials options will come. Okay, go to manage Jenkins. Either you can add directly, or you can come to manage Jenkins here, go to your manage credentials in the security one. Okay, in the security one, go to manage credentials. Here you can see, here I just created this account, right? I just created this one. So what we have to do, we have to simply go here and just try to edit, update. Okay, update one, and what we do, the password is sage consult. What I need to create a token, right? Just go to the settings, you know very well how to generate the token, right? We are doing it multiple times. So go to your personal access tokens and generate it. So it is expired on July, it expires September 7. Okay, fine, I'll generate, let me delete this, I don't need. Let me generate new token here. Okay, and I don't want to keep it more days, 7 days. Repo admin public key user, that's all. Generate token. So I got this token. Now what I can go here, I just go here and change the password, put the token here, save it. Okay, now you know how to update the credentials. There might be question come on the credentials part also, where you have to update the credentials, right? So you have to go to the system configuration, Jenkins, manage Jenkins security, and there you have to create and add credentials. You can see here it gives also in credential section, it gives new item. So if you click new item, you have to, sorry, this is the project building. Go to the dashboard, manage Jenkins, okay. So what you can do here, simply that should be one add options will be there. Okay, this is the credentials management. I think you cannot add it anything here. Username and password, delete, move, no, you cannot add it. So how you can add it, go to your dashboard again, manage Jenkins, and here options will be there, configure credentials and providers, okay, and also configure global security. Just go to configure global security here, and the see security related stops you have to update here, all the security related stops. Now authentication, if you want to authenticate the user and all, you have to just add it here. Now let's go little bit, manage Jenkins here, go to your configure credentials provider, okay, select the providers, exclude selected, only selected, folder, blue ocean folders and all, type of availability only selected, username with username and password, okay. So what you can do, you can just click here and save with username and password, whatever the details are there. This is your providers, credentials provider, okay. And whenever you want to add new credentials, you have to simply, based on the project, you have to go to the new items, create the projects, and there itself you create it. Suppose we updated this one in our configuration page, okay. Now if I go here and select the credentials where it was in the build options, right, okay. Now we can see we don't have any failures. We selected the user ID and password. Suppose let me add a new one. You have to simply click on the, see, if you see clicked here, Jenkins credentials provider, that means it is directly taking you to that particular link. You can see Jenkins credentials provider, it taking you to the directly that link. If I don't give anything, it will throw errors, see, it throw errors. So if I select this one, it will be automatically get added. See, the password is now successfully working, okay. Now what happens, this job will be built, okay. Any of the trigger options, we updated the project one. Now build trigger, so I want this build after other projects are built, and just give the job name. Suppose I'll give this job, okay. Now what I want, that one, first one was a trigger if build is stable, now trigger build is unstable. I select it, okay, just save it. So if you select this job, downstream job F, what it says, upstream, it gives the upstream project, it gives the upstream project, the project name is this one, that means this upstream job. If I go to this upstream job, if I go to this job, we'll have two downstream now. See, we have now two downstream projects. If we go to this main project, upstream project, we have two downstream projects, you can see it here. So let's build the first project and see how it works, okay. Now build it, you can see sixth number build is working, and immediately you will see one of these, which one will start up. If it is success, then this one will execute. If it is fail, then this one will be executed, okay. So just wait for a few seconds, okay. So it is success, it is success, okay. Now just wait for this one will start running, okay. This one will start running, it will be already would have started. Now if you refresh this page, see, start, it is already started running. But the thing is, both of the things have started running. Now let's go and verify. If I go to the console output of this build number 6, go to the console output. So what happens, it is triggering both the jobs, it is triggering both the jobs. One is if, so now let's go and check why it is triggering this job. This job should trigger, these jobs should trigger. Let's go to and configure page, go to the build trigger options, okay. If the build is unstable, so it is not unstable, that's why it's success. So I want if the build is fails, okay, I click on this one. So I want this if the build is fails. So now save it, I clicked the wrong one, that's why it executed both. Now let's go ahead to this job and click it. Build now. Let it run the 7th build. Okay, the 7th build is running, and we'll see only one job. If I refresh this page, we'll be seeing only one job will be running. 1 second. See, only the S1 is running, the other one is not running, only this one is running. Okay, now to verify whether this one is running or not, just click this job, and you can see here second build has started, and it will just print that, hey, the upstream job is success. Okay, but the other one, if I go to the failure job, right, if I go to the failure job here, we'll have only one build. Okay, it has also second build. It got also the second build started by the upstream project and build number 7. It should not be happen, it should not be the case. Why it is happening? Let me check again. Configure. Trigger event. Oh, we are reading it wrongly. We are reading it wrongly. So what happens? Trigger only if the build is stable. Then if the build is success only, then it will get. What happens here? Trigger even. It is added even if the build is fails. That means even the build is fails or success or unstable, whatever, it will run. So we just ignored this even later, even word here. Trigger even if the build is fails. That means even the build fails, success, unstable, whatever it is, it will be
It will
run.
execute.
Okay, execute. So that is how you have to set off. Now there is no specific conditions they have given for only if the build is fails, it will run. So we are reading it wrongly. Even if it is fails, unstable, that's why even we selected unstable one, also it started running, because it is also given trigger even if the build is unstable. That means if it is success, it will run. If it is unstable, also it will run. And in this case, if it is success, it will run. Even if it is fail, also it will run. Okay, so now let me make a condition to fail the upstream job. If the upstream job will fail, our first downstream was given only if it is success, only it will run. That means only one job will run, other job will not run if it is fails. Let me just do that way. Go to the job, configure it. Okay, now I'm just going to do some mistake here, and what happens, okay, I want, suppose I'll give some false branch so that it will not work, it will fail. Okay, fine, let me save it. I just gave a false branch name, so it will fail. Now what happens, let me build the project here. Okay, so see, you can see here 8 number build is failed. 8 number is build is failed. Now only this failure one will run. Okay, now if I go here, go to the log itself, see, you can see here it is only triggering the new build for downstream job F. The success one is not running because the success one is given only if the build is stable. Only if the build is success, then that will trigger. And this one is given even the build is success or failed, whatever it is, this will trigger. The scenario will be even though build is success or failed, we want to deliver a report to the client. In that scenario, you have to set up the job and it will run. So that is the downstream and upstream job. Now you understood clearly. Okay, you have any doubt?
Some doubt is there.
Yeah, please.
So I was little confused, like when you create a job like failure and success on trigger of failure, some job will execute on trigger of success, some job will execute.
Okay.
Okay, so last section I was little confused, like where you were saying like when it got failed, this got executed. So this was not pretty much clear for me.
Okay. So that is what I was telling. We read it wrongly. So whatever option was given, we read it wrongly. So if you see here, trigger even if the build is fails. What is the English statement meaning? What is the meaning of this statement? Trigger even if the build is fails.
Even if the build fails, trigger this job.
Okay, even if the build, so that means the default is success. If by default, if it is success, it will run even if the build also fails. Both way, if success it will run, if fails also it will run. That's why the statement is says triggered even if the build is fails, even if the build fails. You understood, right?
Yes, like,
And
but
no,
I think like from this 4 option, it is saying like the build will trigger. Like first option, it say like trigger only if the it's
it is
stable.
given only.
Trigger.
See, that's the point here. It gives only. It gives trigger only if build is stable. That means only if the build is success, then this job will run. If it is fails, this job will not run. If it is fails, in this case, if it is fails, the job will not run. That is what happened with this job, because if you see these job configurations, we have set off only if the build is stable, then run. Trigger only if the build is stable. So in our last job, when we triggered the upstream job, what happened? The upstream job is failed. So when the upstream job is failed, this job did not trigger. This job did not trigger because it is mentioned as only if the build is stable or success, then execute it. But if you see the other option here, trigger even if means either success or failure, either success or failure, then execute the job. Either or, you got it?
Yes. Now
In the both cases, this option, if it is given trigger only instead of even, it is given, if it is given only if the build is fails, then it will only execute if the build is fails.
okay, got it.
Okay.
So all these things, whatever they have given it, apart from this, we cannot customize. Like, we cannot give a custom.
No. What?
Command.
No, you cannot custom. The customized command you can give in our pipeline job. I'll show you when you automate it, writing your own code, right? That time you have to write the code to exit, to execute, to fail, to start other job, whatever you want. You can do set off in your pipeline job. That we are going to learn now. Okay. So guys, everything clear on this? I understand like little bit it will be confusing because we just went. I should have go with the basic first and then come, because as questions came, I went inside depthly and it just made a mix of everything. So now it is, see guys, it is very simple, right? If the first job is success, either or cases, right? Two cases. If the first job is success, the second job will run one case. The other case is even though either or the first job either success or failure, the second job will be triggered. There are two options. First options, only if the first job or upstream job is success, then trigger the downstream job. The other option is either the upstream job is success or fail, trigger the downstream job. Simple. You understood, right? Any doubt, guys?
Ranjit,
Yes, yes.
the difference between second and the third, what would it be? What is the difference between the second and the third?
Okay, so second and third is, second one is unstable. So unstable means sometimes what happen, the Jenkins will be stuck, right? The Jenkins will not perform. Like the sometimes what happen, the build will not fail. The build will not fail. There will be different typos, different kind of compilation error, different kind of uh, code error will come where it will make your Jenkins to halt, to unstable. It will not do anything, it will just give a status as unstable. So you have to fix it and then start working that. So in that case, it will trigger the build also. If it is what happened here, either it is success or unstable, build the trigger. In case of failure, it will not work. In case of failure, if you select this one, in case of failure, this will not work if you select this one. Okay.
Okay.
So this is what the downstream and upstream. Okay, what you do, you start working at your home today and then tell me what is the problem and where you are getting the issues. Try to do multiple different ways. Try to do multiple different ways. Now what you have to do, you have to simply go there. You have to simply go and create 2 jobs. Don't create 3 jobs. Whatever I create 3 jobs, you will get again confused if you are not familiar or hands-on with that. Just try with simple 2 jobs created. Make one job as downstream, and how you'll make it? Whenever you create the second job, make sure you select the options, like you select the option in the build trigger option, in the build trigger field. Okay, in the build triggers field, make sure you select the build after other projects are built. Make sure you use this one, build. Make sure trigger only if the build is stable, and trigger even if the build is unstable, and all this. Select all any one of the option and select the upstream job. And the upstream job should be created first, right? Then only you can able to select it. Even whenever you are selecting the job, okay, and you will see these jobs, even I select one, it is saying no such project, right? It is saying no such project. Did you mean my job first? So what will happen, because it is you selected it, is took one space here. Just remove this space, select again. Now it is gone. Don't get confused and don't get scared if it is coming. Okay, now you select it and it will work. Gone. So this is all about the downstream and upstream. So the master and slave architecture I'm not explaining you today, because it will take again it will make you more confused if I explain you master and slave. In the first day I will start with the master and slave architecture, but today I'm going to show you. See, there are many things actually. This class again, it will take 4 classes more. Okay, 10 hours of class Jenkins alone, and the way I'm just giving very deftly, it will take more than that, I think. So it's okay. So I want you make sure that you are perfect and expertise whatever you are learning, right? If you have any doubt or anything comes, immediately you ask me, and obviously if you do practice, then may more doubt come. Okay, or you can get a different way around. See, as I told, DevOps is nothing the mindset. Whatever in your mind, it may not be in my mind, right? I will be thinking a different logic, you will be thinking a different logic. It is totally different. So the way you are doing, so you'll be doing by whatever logic you are thinking or whatever ideas coming in your mind. Okay, that's why you have to put everything in automations. Though don't think that you are a different background, like in a testing or HR background or chemical background, whatever it is. So the thing is, everyone, we have some ideas, some logical thinking in our mind, right? So we have to use that one in this project, in these automations. Okay, it is not required that you should be in a development background, or it should be any architect background or automation background to learn and to do that. It's not like that. Everyone, we have some logical thinking, right? Analytical thinking in our mind. We can do whatever we want, right? Fine. So this is what the downstream and upstream jobs we created, and so far whatever we are creating only on the freestyle job creation, on the freestyle job creation. So we have now the next one is the pipeline job, and the pipeline one is the fully automated way of writing the code in Jenkins and automate the entire build, entire delivery and everything. Okay, that another good thing is, before going to this pipeline and giving you more details about the pipelines and writing the code, let me give you how we can do the delivery of the applications, delivery of the applications. So that is the very good, and that will be end to end of CI and CD using the freestyle project. Okay, then we can move the same CI CD with pipeline. Okay, now what I'll do, the same project. So the requirement is like that: you got the project from the development team. Okay, you got the URL. Now you have started creating the project and started building it. This is what the building, and you got the end product, that is the DevOps web.war, and you want this application to be delivered to a staging environment, to a testing environment, to do a further testing, to do the further testing. So how you will do that? How you will do the CD part? Now we have completed the CI part. So the CI part, we have completed the CI part, and there could many things which we also will do in the CI part, but we'll learn in our automations pipeline classes. Okay, now in the CD part, we are going to do the continuous delivery and continuous deployment. See, Jenkins also capable of doing continuous deployment. We can deploy directly to production environment, but organizations, they don't do that. They use different tools to do the configuration management and continuous deployment. So the tools are Ansible, Puppet, Safe, SaltStack, all these tools available in the market, which specifically designed, specifically involved in configuration management and continuous deployment. As I told, Jenkins also has capable of doing the continuous deployment, but the companies, they don't use it. There are a few companies, very small and small startup companies or small other companies who uses Jenkins to do the continuous deployment also, and how that can be done, I'll tell you now. So let me first, so the pipeline one will have in separate class, because that is totally automations one. It will take one complete 1 day of classes for pipeline alone. Okay, now let me go ahead, not 1 day, more than 1 day I think. For pipeline is a big one, and we have to understand the coding also. I'll teach you how to code, right? How to write the Jenkins file, how to write the code different ways. So that will take more time. Fine. Now let's set off this job to deliver. Okay, now let's go to configure the same job. What I'm going to do in the source code, okay, in the Git source code management, we have the same thing we are going to build, but just correct it. It is 1.2 because we had given 1.3 to fail the job. Okay, now 1.2 here. What I want in the build triggers, that is fine. Policy, it's okay, let it be there. Okay, and what we know, build environment is not required, so build is done. After build, we need our post build action. So in our post build actions, what happens, we had only archived the files, archived the artifacts. Okay, we just used archive the artifacts. Now I want this to be delivered to our staging server. For that, what I need a staging server. Okay, now let me go ahead and let's make this server as my staging server. I have one other server, Ansible Terraform. Like, I'm just going to make this server as my staging server. I want to deliver my product to this server. How I'll do that? Okay, there are lots of settings and lots of technical stops will be involved. Just be attentive. Okay, what I am doing. if you don't understand, definitely you'll not understand. Maybe there might be some issues, or while setting up you'll understand, but while setting up there might be some issues. Keep patience and start doing it. If you don't able to do that, let me know immediately. You can WhatsApp me, okay, you can call me immediately, and I can just guide you how you can do that. Okay, just see how I'm doing the setups. Okay, so what I need a, as it is a web application, I need a web server. I need a web server to be installed to handle the application. I need a web server to be installed on the server so that it can handle and run the application, right? So what I need to install some web server in this machine. Okay, in this server I want to install some application or web server. So let me connect this server. Okay, so I just connected to the server. What I need to install the softwares, right? I need to install the softwares. So I had sent you one document, one PDF file, right? I had sent you one PDF file, and in that PDF file, the installations of the Tomcat server, Apache Tomcat server also there. So you have to follow that steps to install the server. Okay, now let me get back this Tomcat servers. Okay, I'm not sure where it is. Jenkins. Here there will be one file. Okay, you can find it over here. Yes. So in this document I already have sent you, and here I have, yes, install Tomcat. I have one step here, how to install the Tomcat. So Apache Tomcat, if you are not sure, Apache Tomcat is being used for web server, which will run your web application in the server. Okay, so this is Apache Tomcat. What I have to just follow the steps whatever is given. Now let's go to the server, cd, go to the opt, and here I'm going to download this Tomcat 7 version. Okay, Tomcat 7. And you'll see here, while copy pasting, guys, there is a space actually in between. There is this here, as it is a new line, after 7 there is a space. Don't get confused, and don't get if you don't think like there is any bug or issues. Okay, what you do, simply come here and remove this space. Okay, if you don't remove this space, it will throw error. It will throw, like, suppose let me give it, without giving, it will throw error like connecting this http sent 404 not found. That means this space is not found because there is a space. Okay, and here if you copy this one, you find there is a space. Just correct this space. Okay, remove this space here, hit enter. Now you can see it is downloading that one. It is downloaded the Tomcat server. It is in tar file. Okay, it is in, if I do it here, we have this Apache Tomcat downloaded. Now what I need, I want to untar this. So you can use sudo tar hyphen xvf xbzf, okay, and provide this one. So it is untarred everything. Okay, if I go here, we have a file folder untarred. So I don't need this one now. Let me delete it. Unnecessary, it will consume the, so I have to make myself as root, make it as sudo delete. Done. And what I can do, I can just rename the big long name to a smaller name. Okay, as mb, I'll just give as Tomcat. Done. Tomcat is done. Now Follow? So whatever is given here, I did the same thing, guys. Okay, I did the same thing here. Okay, now what you have to do, you have to create role and user for this. So I have given all the steps here. I have given all the steps. So go to this Tomcat user.xml in the Tomcat config folder. If I go to this Tomcat folder, okay, I am into opt Tomcat, and here you will find some config, bin, and all this. Okay, go to this config folder, cd config folder. Okay, and here you will find Tomcat user.xml and server.xml. We are going to change something, these two files, this XML file. Okay, now let me just use it, sudo vi tomcat users.xml. Okay, what I have to do, I have to change something based on this. So I need to set up username and password. I have to change, set up the username and password. So if I go to the username, just go down, you will find it here itself. Okay, and here you can say it is commented, this Tomcat user part is commented. So uncomment this, delete. This is a different kind of setups, guys. If you are familiar with that, you can do it, or else your company will do it, your development team or your admin team, they will do installations and do all kind of setups. Okay, you don't have to necessarily do it. If you are familiar with it, you can also do that. Okay, now you can just go and so here I have two roles here, one Tomcat and another is role 1. So what I can do, I can simply delete this role is not required, and I delete this. I need only simple one is fine. Okay, and here okay, the here is created two role name as manager script and manager GUI. Let me copy this too and delete this one also. Put it here. I put role name manager script manager GUI, but in username we have this Tomcat. Okay, Tomcat, and password I have given like this, and let me copy this one as well. Instead of this line, put, but here there is a typo again. Here is given manager, the role name is given manager script, but here roles I have given manager script, T is missing. So make sure you correct it, okay, while changing it, T script. So manager GUI, all role name, username, password you have given secret here. Okay, let's do it. This is required whenever you log in manually, otherwise it is not required. Okay, now I changed it. Now you have to change the port number, and this is very important, guys. This is very important. This server.xml contains to change the connector port. What is the port, default port for Jenkins? 8080, and the same default port for Tomcat is 8080.
Yeah.
Okay, so what happens, we cannot run two applications, two web applications with the same port name, right? Then what we have to do, we have to change the port number of Tomcat server. So how we'll change the port number of the Tomcat server? We can just modify the server.xml file. Use sudo vi server.xml. okay, go here, change the port connector. So search for this connector port. Okay, search for this connector port. Connector port. Okay, this is the connector port, and the port number is 8080. Okay, so what we have to do, we have to just modify, this 8080 to 82 or 83 or whatever you want. Okay, just modify this one, just modify 82. I changed and modified to 82. Fine, save it. Saved. After you do all these things, see, this is not necessarily required. If you want to manually connect, you can change this Tomcat, but to change the port, you have to edit the port number 82 to 82. Now what I have to do, I have to restart the Tomcat server. So it is very simple to restart the Tomcat server. Okay, so what I can use, just you have to go to the bin folder. Okay, you can go to the bin folder here, cd bin, and it should be Tomcat folder and then bin folder, and here you will find lots of scripts, and you want this startup.sh, or you can use catalina.sh to start the script. Okay, so I suppose use catalina.sh, or let me use this startup.sh simply to start it. Okay, so what happened, we need sudo and start it. Here is the good thing. Now can anybody tell me what is the error and how to fix it?
That's Java. We have to define a Java underscore home in the path.
Yes, we have to install Java here also. Okay, let me check what version of Java is available here. So we don't have Java installed because Tomcat server, Apache Tomcat is a Java based web application. It is built in Java. So we need Java to run this application, right? So we have to install the Java now. So for installing Java on Amazon, we have to use sudo. I think I have given the details here. Okay, initially we'll have the Java installations here. Okay, so we need this OpenJDK. Let me just try to, as it is in CentOS, it might not be there in Amazon Linux. Okay, let me still try to install it. Oh, okay, it is there. Okay, so it is installing OpenJDK. So we have to set up the JRE and OpenJDK here. Okay. Okay, done. So what we need, let's execute this to export the Java home and Java ARE. Okay, sorry, just now if I do echo $java underscore home OpenJDK. Okay, now if I start it, sudo startup.sh. Okay, what it says, Tomcat started. Tomcat started. So let me just check ps-ef grep Tomcat. Okay, our Tomcat server is running. Okay, our Tomcat server is running. Now, how will access this web application? How will access? Remember, you have to two things. You have to first install the Java. As this documentations in the beginning itself, the installations of Java is there. Okay, so you have to install the Java, then just download the Tomcat and set up and start the Tomcat server. Without the Java installed, the Tomcat server will not start. Now my Tomcat server is started. How I'll access this Tomcat server? Just copy this, okay, and go here, put it, and what is the port number? Port number was, we had given 8282, right? Just give
82.
us 8282. Hit enter. Now it should work. Okay, so it is not coming, maybe it will get timeout. So why it is not working, guys? We did everything, right? We changed the port, we started the Tomcat server, and our Tomcat server also running. Our Tomcat server is also running, but it is not started. It is not, we are not able to access it. Why? Quickly
I
tell.
think this port security, security group.
Security group will not means.
Exactly. So Jyoti is very good. So here the security, the firewall, we have to whitelist this port. Okay, we have to whitelist this port, guys, because this port is new port we created, right? We given new port, and this port will not be part of our security group. So what we have to do? Go to the server, where in this server we have installed Tomcat, right? Go to the server and go to the security section here, and we'll have this security group, and we have to modify this security group to provide access of to 8282. Okay, one second. So if you go here, we have only 80 and 22 whitelisted, but not 8282. Edit inbound rule, add rule, custom TCP, give 8282 and make it public, save rules. So 8282 is now whitelisted. 8282 is now whitelisted. So it is now, just refresh this one. See, now we are able to access our Apache Tomcat 7.0.61 server. Okay, our Apache server is running. Now let me fix this one to deliver the product to this Apache Tomcat server. How will do that in Jenkins? I'll set up here in the post build action, set up here like where is that? It will be in the build step, I think. Just go here. Okay, so we don't have set GitHub commit enable notifications, Git publisher, recording aggregate downstream. We don't have deliver, right? Okay, so what we now do, it is not there in the post build action. So let's go ahead and do setup of the plugins. So there are few plugins missing, that's why it is not displaying here. Go to the plugins, manage Jenkins. Okay, go to manage plugins. And here what we'll do, go to the available one. So installed one which is installed on this server, available one which is available. So search for container, Docker pipeline. No, I don't need this Docker pipeline. I don't cloud with Docker. Which your container. Okay, it's not there. Let me search with Tomcat. Because Tomcat there is no plugins available, that is fine. You can search for deploy. Okay, deploy to container. This is what I was searching for. Deploy to container. Select this one. Okay, now install without restart. Deploy to container. This plugin is getting installed now. Okay. Okay, it is success. Now go to back to the top page here. Go to the job and configure here. Now you know how to use the plugins to get the details and use the in the project. Okay, go back here in the post build section, and you will see here deploy var and er2 container. This is the option I was looking for, as it was missing in this Jenkins post build action. I added one deploy to container plugin, then I got this option. Okay, select this one and here provide the var file name. So just provide slash start dot var. Context path is not required. Give the container. Okay, so here we'll have the container, different versions of container available. So ours is here JBoss server, Tomcat server, will have other different servers also. Okay, as we have Tomcat 7, right? Select Tomcat 7. Now you need the user ID and password to connect. So just provide and again add this user here. Click username was given Tomcat and password was given secret, right? Secret. Now save, add this one and select this credentials. Okay, and provide the Tomcat URL. So what is the Tomcat URL? You have to give the Tomcat server URL. So copy this entire thing, put it here, and it should be http:// the server or domain name or IP address of the server, Tomcat server, the port number where the container or the server is running. Okay, done. Now save. Saved it. Okay, saved it. Now okay, all setup are done. Okay, all good. Now go ahead and build now. Okay, build now. 9th build is running. Let's see. 1 second, let me message. 1 second. Good. What happens? Remote with contest, deploy publisher, attempting to deploy, and it is remote with context null and it is deployed. So if I go here to the Tomcat server, okay, 1 second guys, I'm just messaging. Okay, so if I go to the Tomcat server, let me go manually to the Tomcat server here. Okay, this is the Tomcat server. If you can see here in the Tomcat folder, we have one web app. And the Tomcat, everything, all the applications in the Tomcat folder will be placed under this web apps. Okay, so if I go to this web apps folder, application will be deployed on this web app. You can see here one DevOps web.war file is deployed. DevOps web.war file is deployed. Right now, how I'll access these applications? Go here and use the application name DevOps web. See, I can able to, my application is successfully deployed on the staging environment, right? I can able to access my application. Right now, let me do a small change to the application and start building. Okay, so what I'll do here, so there is a requirement comes. Okay, this is the real time, everything is real time now. So this is a requirement comes. Now your development team has modified the project. Suppose this is the application, right? Your development team has modified your application. Now suppose which branch, this is the branch, and you have to just suppose modify it little bit. I'll just modify to show you and to demonstrate you how it works. Now what happens here? Choose instead of 2.4, this is what is given, right? 2.4. If we can see this in application 2.4 batch 5, right? Let me modify this to 2 point. Edit it directly. I'm editing on the GitHub itself. Okay, edit. Suppose I give us 2.5 instead of 4. I give it 2.5 version. Right. Let me commit it. Now my automation is completely done. Developer, now I am the developer and updating something in my code. Okay, and I want it should be automatically deployed to the staging environment. Now I am not doing anything. I am simply sitting here in front of you and doing the changes to the code. Okay, what we'll do, based on the trigger option set up in the Jenkins job, the Jenkins job will start triggering and start the building, and after it gets success, it will deliver the applications to the web applications to the server, staging server. So it was 2.4. If I refresh this now, so the job has yet not finished. Okay, see, I did not do anything. I simply developer simply modified it, and it will be reflected immediately after the deployment is done. 2.5. So who did these things for us, right? The Jenkins server in the background it is doing. Even though I close the Jenkins server, I have not opened the Jenkins server. I have not touched it, right? How? Based on the poll SCM, right? Based on the poll SCM, it automatically started and generate a new build and deployed the code. Now you fully understood how it works, right? Both continuous integration and continuous deployment and delivery happened. Do you have any doubt, guys? I think it is pretty much clear and you should understand how it works.
Suppose build is failed, then what happens?
Okay. If the build is failed, then you should have set off the email configuration. So we have a separate class for setting up the email notification. In that time, I'll do again the project setup. In this project setup, we'll set off the email So where you will do that, go configurations here. Okay. The post build sections, what you'll do, you go to the post build action, and here what you have to do, you have to go email notification, right? Email notifications. Select this email notifications. What it says, send email for every unstable build, send separate email to individual. So if any build is failed or unstable, it will send email to the email address whatever you give it here. Okay, whatever I give it here, all this email will be sent to that. And this setup will do a separate class. We have how to set up this email notification. This is not the one we can directly work. We have a different way to set up this email notifications. I'll show you that one, and that time we'll set up in our post build action. Okay, this is how you have to do. If the build is failed, even though if the build is failed or success or whatever, it will send an email to your email group.
Is the Tomcat server, that time Tomcat server is working or not?
Sorry?
Suppose build is failed, that time the Tomcat server is working or stop working?
No, Tomcat server will be working. The application will be working, but the application will be the old version. The 2.4 version will be still there. The whatever, see, the old application, whatever was there in the Tomcat server, the Tomcat server will be running fine. It will be having the applications, but the new application, whatever is modified by the developer, it will not be deployed because the build is failed, right? If the build is failed, everything will be terminated. Then it will not deploy the new version of the application or new feature of the applications, right? It will not, until unless you fix it and rebuild it to stable, until unless it will not work. Okay, the Tomcat server will be running there with the older version of the application. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Any doubt, guys?
Okay, is there any scheduling options available here, or how it will execute those jobs.
Yeah, that is the scheduling option we have set up, right? We see, we did not do anything. We simply modified the project. The developer just modified the project, and automatically based on the schedule, the job triggered, right? Where was the schedule? The schedule we had, if you remember, the schedule was given in the poll SCM in our last class. Yesterday class, it was given poll SCM. This is the schedule we have already set up. That's why it automatically triggered and automatically build happened and delivered the project, delivered the application. This is the schedule we already had set up in our last class, right? And if you want this to be delivered evening, or if you want to deliver on Sunday or Saturday, then you have to set up based on the scheduling options here. You have to check it. See, every 15 minutes interval if you want to deliver, every 10 minutes, once in every 2 hour slot between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. weekdays, and once a day in the last 1st and 15th of every month. You can set up like this. This is just example. There are many things you can do it, guys. Okay. So this is the scheduling option. This is the one scheduling option. There is other scheduling option also there, which the organizations follow or do that. That will learn in a separate class. This will be very useful, and we have to learn, and you'll get definitely questions on these two scheduling options. This one. This is scheduling and triggering option. One is the scheduling option, and this one is the triggering option. Okay, got it? Any doubt?
No, sir. Yeah.
Cool, good, guys. So we learned lots of things, guys. Again, when we move on, we'll learn more advanced thing. Okay, basic to advanced we are moving on. So I would always tell you to do practice first. Okay, before coming to the advanced one, do practice and make sure you remember the things. Like Kishore asked, where is the scheduling things? Because he might not remember, he maybe forgot that we already have done the scheduling in our last class. Okay, so based on the scheduling only it executed, because every 1 minute interval it scheduled. It is already scheduled to run every 1 minute interval. That's why I simply in front of you did such changes, and automatically I showed you it delivered to the environment, to the staging environment, right? Because of the scheduling option, because of the poll SCM, right? Okay, that's all, guys, for today. We'll meet up on Saturday, and we'll learn a lot of more advanced thing, and be ready for that, and do practice today itself. Okay, we have time. I'll share the video just after this class, maybe after half an hour.